regarding one Miss Halima Begum or Mrs. Halima Begum. Now she belongs to the Pakistan administered Kashmir, and we are claiming that Pakistan POK is part of Indian territory. So how can you deport her? If on the one side you're saying that POK is my part, it's my that has been illegally taken away with the Pakistan. On the second time, you are deporting her, labeling her as she's a Pakistani. We have failed to get our POK back from Pakistan.
But at one level, I am not surprised by how these Kashmiri politicians are acting. I'm surprised it took as long as a week for the mask to fall off.
Yeah.
One can trust these Kashmiri leaders as much as one can trust Dracula to keep his mouth shut at a blood donation camp.
I'm going to ask them straight off the bat. Tausif Shah, leader of the PDP, is with us. Tausif Shah, why does Mehbooba Mufti have such sympathies for those whose homes are being knocked down?
Yeah, very good evening to you and to all of my fellow panelists. I'd like to reply, but before replying, there is one request from my side. Just please bear with me for 3 to 4 minutes. Give me my full time to speak. Then whatever questions you have to ask, or you don't accept it, it's right. But please let me speak. Now we'll speak. As you started the show, you spoke that when we had Article 370 regarding one Miss Halima Begum or Mrs. Halima Begum. Now she belongs to the Pakistan administered Kashmir, and we are claiming that Pakistan POK is part of Indian territory. So how can you deport her? If on the one side you're saying that POK is my part, it's my that has been illegally taken away with the Pakistan. On the second time, you are deporting her, labeling her as she's a Pakistani. We have failed to get our POK back from Pakistan. It's not their fault, it's our fault. Now, second thing is there, regarding Article 35A and Article 370, whenever a person from Jammu and Kashmir, a male member, marries somebody outside the territory of Jammu and Kashmir, she automatically becomes our state subject. This used to be when we had 370. Now, since 370 has changed, so that obviously it's already repealed. Now that law doesn't stand over there. So for last 30 or 35 years or 40 years, she has traveled here in 1982. Now, this was my rebuttal for what you said regarding Halima Begum. Now for Deepu Devi, she came from Amritsar. She didn't marry a state subject here. She came here and she settled down. Now, let me tell you one fact from history that in 1962, Madam Indira Gandhi wanted to purchase a piece of land in Jammu and Kashmir, and she was denied by the then Prime Minister, Mr. Bakshi Ghulam Ahmad, who belonged to the Congress party, who was the Prime Minister from Congress party of Jammu and Kashmir. She was denied.
Right.
She was not given the land. This is a history. So it can be Googled, it can be seen if it's true.
What is the point?
Now the point is, now my third point, that why are we, now you also raised the point regarding the demolitions. We know that there is a way, we live in a very modern world, we live in a technologically grown world. We have demolitions that are known as controlled demolitions. We can demolish. If you have a law, we have a law, we accept it. We have a law to demolish, but we need to have a controlled demolition. What has done the neighbor? Now there are 3 houses side by side. You have to demolish one house. Why are you not doing a controlled demolition? You have to demolish it. But not of the neighbors. They have no fault to go on.
Excuse me,
they have nothing to do with him.
I am not, listen, I'm not an engineer and we are not talking engineering here. We are talking
No, we are not
politics.
talking
Excuse me
engineering, but
one
we are
second.
talking
We're
general.
talking. Your boss was talking politically. Hang on. You might be sitting
I am
here
also
and making.
not
Oh,
a
one
demolition
second.
engineer,
I have answers to you on all 3 points. So please accept them. I want to open this up also. I don't want to dominate.
Please.
She says urges government to be compassionate, viewers. Compassionate? Compassionate for whom? For people who have come here and not bothered to take Indian citizenship. This is the same lot, viewers, that wanted compassion to be shown for Indians who denounce their citizenship and go abroad. And they're saying IOJK, POK, all this. I'll tell you, viewers, what has happened in POK. Punjabi Muslims have been packed in there, just like Han Chinese have been sent to Uyghur Peninsula in China. There has been demographic displacement there. A large number of those Kashmiris there are treated like, I don't even want to say the word. And these people, what stopped them from taking on Indian citizenship? They wanted to retain their separateness, viewers. That's why they didn't take their citizenship. It's on offer. You're married to an Indian for so many years. Are you ashamed of an Indian passport? And you're living in a colony. You're living in a colony where you know that the house has been constructed, excuse me, a house has been constructed with terror finances. And you don't have it within you to come out and say, we don't want to be living next to mass murderers. They do that in Pakistan. Hafiz Saeed lives in a huge colony, viewers. Dawood Ibrahim lives in a colony. They're treated as, you know what, viewers? I'll tell you who they're treated like. Freedom fighters. How many of these people, I'm also from Kashmir, I lost my house, my grandmother married out of state. Yusuf Shah. I know the laws. I know how discriminatory they were, why they were brought in place to maintain this separate status. And when Kashmiri Hindus left, viewers, or they were killed, how many people held up their beers like they do for those ghastly Burhan Wani and company? All of these people would have gone there and gone and attended the Zanana. Where were these people then coming out saying, this cannot happen on our land, not in my name. This Zanana cannot happen. This person is a terrorist. Today when they are losing their bread and butter, they are coming out with these candles. But when you scratch them, this is the truth, viewers. You know where their sympathy lies. That's the fundamental point. It's their bread and butter that is getting affected. I didn't want to believe this. For 1 week, viewers, I have kept away. But I can't stomach this tonight. Dr. Ranganathan, I don't know if you can. SP Ved is here. I'm going to ask him also. These technical arguments are being given to defend the indefensible. Ridiculous.
Good evening. Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for having this discussion and your primer that compared the rights given to Kashmiri Hindus, of which you are one, and the rights given to illegal Pakistanis in Kashmir. But you know, at one level, I am not surprised by how these Kashmiri politicians are acting. I'm surprised it took as long as a week for the mask to fall off.
Yeah.
One can trust these Kashmiri leaders as much as one can trust Dracula to keep his mouth shut at a blood donation camp. Their first allegiance is to religion, second to Pakistan, third to China, and fourth to dynasty. Fact is that after the Modi government abrogated Article 370, these terror apologists have been itching to foment trouble, even asking China to intervene. They talk of human rights and religious rights, but remember how they called Wani a youth icon, how they condoled the death of terrorists, and leave aside showing concern for minorities in Kashmir. When have you heard them speak out against the brutal trampling of human rights of lakhs of Dalits, Gurkhas, women, Sikhs, refugees, homosexuals in Kashmir because of 370 and 35A for 70 years? But I'll tell you why when they do speak out, when their power and authority are threatened, like when Sheikh Abdullah spoke out and I quote, self-determination is our right, countries that do not support it are our enemies. Or when Farooq Abdullah spoke out and I quote, they want to abolish 370 and we'll remain silent. Inshallah, we will fight. We dare them. Allah would want we gain independence from India. Or when Mehbooba Mufti threatened rivers of blood if 370 was abrogated, mourned the death of terrorist Wani, said flags other than the tricolor will fly, said why would a Muslim majority state want to stay with India, wanted to introduce death by stoning as punishment according to Sharia law. Rahul, the truth is, only in India will you find the same people participating in candlelight marches for terrorists as well as the victims of terrorists. Only in Kashmir will you find mourners attending the funeral of terrorists as well as the victims of terrorists. If that doesn't tell you something, nothing else will. Just the other day, these same people wearing black armbands, shuttering their shops, shedding tears, were assembling in their thousands for the funeral of Burhan Wani and Nasrallah and Yahya. So what has changed? They are trying to hide their hate. It took a week, but they don't realize that Indians have finally understood where all this hate comes from. It can't all come from across the border, no. It comes from an ideology that transcends borders. Plans hatched by Pakistan are aided and abetted by their cohorts in India. As I say, it's a snakes and ladders game. Snakes are provided by Pakistan, ladders by India. Rahul, we are looking at the hyena outside our home, but ignoring the elephant in the room. Otherwise, tell me, just 30 seconds. 4 Indian states share borders with Pakistan. But does such a massacre happen in Gujarat, in Rajasthan, in Punjab? It happens in Kashmir because we Indians in India allow it to happen. We felicitate it and then felicitate it. We can hit Pakistan as many times as we want. It won't change anything. Didn't we carry out Balakot? Why did Pahalgam happen? World's worst terror attack was not carried with the help of an army but by 11 men with box cutters, and there are thousands of them. The real problem is internal, not external. Only cultural and demographic restoration of Kashmir can help, and it must happen.
You see, viewers, I want you to focus on those visuals of Mehbooba Mufti again. What is she holding? She's holding a placard that says, this is an attack on all of us. There you can see it, read it. This is an attack on all of us. So why speak up for just some of us? Why speak up for just some of us? This is my problem, viewers. And SP Ved Saab is there and I want to ask him. Ved Saab, it's a very simple question. Were houses of Kashmiri Hindus burnt and demolished? Number one. Number two, were temples of Kashmiri Hindus burnt and demolished? Two. Did they use controlled detonations to do this? Did they ensure that no neighbor's house would get burnt? When 5 or 6 homes that were built in an enclave were set alight together or bulldozed to the ground by these xenophobes? I want to ask you, Ved Saab, should we have sympathy for these people?
See, I am one who has no sympathy for terrorists and no sympathy to the people who are overgrown workers, who are even more dangerous than the terrorists. And they actually assist terrorists to actually execute attacks like this. So, I think coming to your question, that whether temples were looted, the houses were looted, burnt and razed to the ground, yes. And today
was there humanity,
we see
sir?
How the properties of
Did anyone come out? You've served
not
there.
At all,
Did
not
anyone
at
come
all.
out, sir, on the streets
Not
with
at all.
candles to say, ye mat kariye?
No one, no one.
So why, sir?
See, Rahul,
why didn't they come out, sir? I want to ask you. Why didn't they come out?
See, in the 90s, we have seen how that notorious slogan "Rally Ghalib" and was announced from the mosque. How the Hindu minority was forced to flee from Kashmir. So this is basically what is basically the ideology which actually makes everyone silent.
Even the ideology.
Yes. That is, and the Pakistan is making full use of this ideology. Not only in Kashmir. Let me mention here, there are a lot of pockets in India where you have the internal challenge is much more. I totally agree with Dr. Ranganathan. The internal challenge is much more difficult than Pakistan and China. So we have to be very, very careful and ruthless in dealing with the
ruthless.
Yes.
An Amritsari lady, viewers, was not given rights. A Pakistani was because of Article 370 and Article 35. Can you believe it, viewers? Can you believe it? An Indian discriminated, a Pakistani exalted. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan, I'll open this up to Ayaz and also Toheen Sinha, BJP national spokesperson. Yes.
My apologies, didn't mean to interrupt, but I want to say this, add to what Ved Saab has said. He's a national hero, especially for me, he's an inspiration. But I have to say this, yes, tens of thousands of Muslims in India have never come out to demand rehabilitation of Kashmiri Hindus. But tens of thousands of Muslims in India did come out to demand that Rohingyas, who were bearing no relation to them, didn't even know where they existed, were demanding their legal status to be restored in India. So they did come out. But the fact is, I say again, did in India ever tens of thousands of Hindus ever march for support of Kashmiri Hindus? Rahul, the brutal fact is, if you are jealous of somebody else's unity, you are divided.
You know what?